Hello everyone, this is Jotto, and welcome to how I would improve the tournament system. Now, before we start, tournament system in Spellweaver is a very good thing. It is one of the best implemented tournament systems I've ever seen in any card game, and it is definitely one of the major selling points of the game. However, well, me being the incredibly cynical person that I am, I always like looking at how to improve things. And yeah, I think there are a few problems right now. Now, I'm going to split this video into two things. The first half is going to be talking about the Masters qualifiers, and the second half is going to be talking about the rest of the tournament's prize structure, because I think those are the two main issues, and they're quite separate. So anyway, let's start with the Masters tournaments. Now, if we go down to the little info section at the bottom here, I'll link this page in the description. It's just the tournament schedule. So anyway, Masters qualifiers separated into silver ticket qualifiers, preliminaries, and the official golden ticket ones, which are just the standard qualifiers. Now, the way the prize structure is sorted is that first to fourth in the silver tickets get a silver ticket, so they get qualified for the golden ticket qualifier, and then whoever wins that gets into Masters. Now, 5th and 6th get 6 packs, and 7th to 10th get 2. There's a big problem with this, and anyone that's been playing in a lot of silver tickets will have noticed. And the issue is that people with the same scores are getting different prizing. Now, this does happen sometimes with other tournaments as well, but like Sunday Fun Days are all based on points, and in other cases it's not tickets on the line. It's not big qualification spots on the line, it's just packs. So, what's the problem? Well, 1st to 4th should be, in theory, everyone that has 1 loss or better. In practice, though, it's about 5 to 6 people that have 1 loss or better, which means every single tournament someone gets screwed over by tie breaks, even though they have exactly the same score. Now, this is also something that happens from 5th to 10th, where in reality, from 5th to about 12th or 13th, all have 2 losses. So, so you get people with 2 losses that get nothing, you get people with 2 losses that get 6 packs, and you get people with 2 losses that get 2 packs, all based on tie breaks. And tie breaks are an issue. In tournaments where you don't have dropouts, it's fine, but in tournaments where you do, it can cause some problems. And so, how would I fix this? Because this is sort of the main focus. Because with the actual qualifier, if you go undefeated, you get the ticket. But with silver tickets, you need to get top 4. So how would I sort this out? Now, the way that Masters Championship qualifiers work is that it's supposed to be 16 people, but it's max players of 32. So keeping that in mind, the way I would change this is if you have 1 loss, you get a ticket. If you have 2 losses, you get 6 normal packs, and if you have 3 losses, you get 2. That's how I would change it. You'd have to implement sort of a new way of showing it. But when it comes down to it, you've now got a system where probably an extra 6 people are qualifying for the golden ticket tournament, which is fine. That would put it at about 22 maximum, in reality about 20. Probably about 19 or 18 actually in a lot of cases, because a lot of people don't actually play in the Masters qual at the end of the week because stuff can come up. So you increase it by a small amount. It's still whoever goes undefeated gets the golden ticket. And there'd still be 4 rounds. So the prize structure for Masters would still work. So all you've actually done is say, you're offering basically reverse points because it accounts for how many rounds there are. So if there's 6 rounds, then if you go 5 and 1 or better, then you get a ticket. And if you go 4 and 2, then you get your 6 packs. And then if you go 3-3, you get your 2. Well, okay, maybe not. Maybe not for 3 losses. Maybe just have it as 6 normal packs for 4-2. But anyway, you get the idea. The point is rewarding based on losses as opposed to based on points. Now, when it comes to the golden tickets, the problem I have with them actually has nothing to do with the fact that only the winner gets a golden ticket. The problem I have with it is the prizes besides that. Because keep in mind, you don't actually get a prize for participating. Which means that you've got people that have got top 4 in a tournament. They've invested a ticket. They've got top 4 in a tournament. They qualify for this golden ticket, and then half of them don't get anything. Which, keep in mind, for someone like me, has absolutely nothing. And I just want to say this, I have not been personally affected by this at all. Every time I've got a top 4, well, every time I've had one loss, I've got a silver ticket, and a lot of my silver tickets have been undefeated as well, so that has not affected me, and I don't care about packs. But a lot of people do. So yeah, a lot of people do. I'm in the minority there, and I recognize that. So, with the golden ticket qualifiers, you've got a lot of people that actually get nothing, and they're down, even though they've won something like 80% of the games, effectively. And on top of that, I feel like the prizes are very low for a tournament you have to qualify for. I mean, we'll talk about this a bit in the second half, but 3 points, you get 5 premiums. Okay, yeah, maybe. Alright, I think that should be about 6, personally, but okay, I'll give a pass on that. You don't need anything for first because you get called for actual masters. Although, even then, if you're in the bottom 4 or 5 players, you actually don't get anything. So yeah, maybe there should be a pack reward for first as well. And then at 2 points, you get 2 premiums. That seems low. That does seem low, and then you don't get anything for participating. I think maybe you should get 2 premiums just for qualifying, honestly. I think that the rewards are way too low, outside of first place, obviously. Getting into Masters is like the biggest reward in the entire game, but the rest of it does tend to screw people over. So that's how I'd probably change the silver tickets to be based off losses, not points, or not placings, so that you don't have tie breaks deciding things. And for the golden tickets, I'd probably increase the pack rewards across the tournament, simply because a lot of people are just not getting anything out of playing in golden ticket qualifiers when you have to qualify to get into them in the first place. Alright, so that's what I have to say on Masters quals. Now, for the rest of the tournament system, I do think it's a bit oversaturated. Like, there's like 4 tournaments a day. But yeah, I think I'd probably reduce that down to 3. But I mean, the way I do scheduling is a bit different from others. I'd have like Tuesday, Thursday as the ticket days, and then Monday, Wednesday as like you put a bunch of random tournaments on Mondays and Wednesdays. On Friday, that's good. Friday nights, those are all very good. Sunday, yeah, that has tons of tournaments, and Sunday's like a weekend day, so people have the time, so yeah, that works. Saturday needs to have something else on it. Saturday is a weird blank spot. It has all the new player tournaments on it. Like, it's got 2 new player tournaments on one day. Well, it's actually 3, because the one that shows on Sunday is at 3 in the morning European time. But in America, that's still Saturday. So you've got 3 new player tournaments on one day. But for the rest of the players, it's just Saturday Conquest and nothing. And Saturday is one of the days where people have the most time to play games. So that's when they're most likely to sign up for a tournament. So I do think there's a bit of a blank spot in the schedule there. So I think it would probably be best to have Saturday with a little bit more on it, and then maybe reroute some of the, I don't know, some of the other stuff. Like Wednesday's Crystal Fiesta Day, that's fine. Free rolls happen throughout the week, that's also fine. But I think maybe Tuesday, Thursday should only be tickets, and then have Saturday, like you could put the Crystal Fiestas on Saturday. I mean, there's Conquest. I don't know. I don't know how I'd structure it. I'd have to like sit down and really have a look at the schedule. But the only point I have about the schedule is maybe it's a bit oversaturated. People are getting spread a bit too thin. But mainly, there's nothing on Saturday. So yeah, adding something on Saturday would probably be a good thing. Or just moving something to Saturday. So anyway, on to the actual meat of the topic. The pricing. Now, the pricing across the board is a bit low with the new system we've got. Now, I want to say, with free rolls it makes sense, because it's just, you're basically just playing ranked games, but you get to play it in a tournament structure. So that's fine. That is completely okay. New player tournaments, again, completely okay, because you effectively get in for free, and you're playing against people roughly your skill, and you get a few packs. Again, that's fine. What else we got? Crystal Fiestas. Yeah, that's also fine. It's a bit more competitive, and you have to use actual crystals to get into them. But I think in general that's okay. I think maybe there should be a base prize pool of like 200. Maybe something like that, just to kind of make it a little bit more enticing to go in. Because keep in mind, only top 4 actually get prizes. So yeah, maybe figure out something there. But Crystal Fiesta I'll give a little bit of a pass on. Friday nights, this is the tournament you should play in every single week. There are 3 of them, and the prizes are insane. At least for first and, well, top 3. 4th to 8th get 2, but they also get 500 fame. And it's effectively, I mean, a ticket costs about 1.5 packs. Yeah, and you have to get top 8. So yeah, maybe that's a bit low. I think it's a bit too top loaded. I think first gets a bit too much, and I think it would be better to... Friday night is also a tournament where I'd have X and 1 for second, third instead. You have X and 1 and then X and 2. I prefer that system because it accounts for any number of players, which I think would be better. So have first place and then X and 1, X and 2. That's how I do that probably. If you want to have a higher load, and then maybe make the X and 2 3 normal packs, because it's a little too top loaded. I mean, like if you get first, you're set for weeks. But yeah, it's a bit sketchy for everyone else in the tournament. So I think maybe spreading it out a bit, maybe reducing it to 15 normal packs for first, and then sort of spreading that out to the people with 2 losses. I think that's probably how I do that. It's a little too loaded on the front. So anyway, Saturday Conquest. This is way too low. Way too low. I've had problems with this for a while, where they can never quite get the Conquest rewards correct. The Card Back is an amazing prize, by the way. That is one of the best prizes you can get. But the problem is, you don't get anything for 2 points. Which, yeah, I think you should get a premium for 2 points. If you're going to keep this exact prize schedule, I think, like, if you're going to go 5 and a card back, to at least add something for 2 points. Because, I mean, I think personally it should be 3 premium packs for 3 points, and then maybe 1 for 2 points. But, yeah, I do think it's a little too stingy, and it has probably impacted turnout rates. They are at least firing now, but barely. Like, the attendance has gone up a bit, but still. Now, the last one here is Sunday Funday, which I do think is a bit too low. Like, yeah, I think this should be more 50,000 gold for 5 points as opposed to 37. Now, there is one way of just fixing this without having to touch any of the prizing outside of the qualifiers, because I think that actually does need to be restructured. The suggestion I've seen is that you get a maybe 3 times multiplier, like a friendlies, basically, after every game. You just get gold and fame like you're playing a friendly match. Which means you don't have to increase the prizes. Like, think about it. Sunday Funday, you play 5 rounds, maybe 6. You get effectively the reward for playing 5 games, and whatever you manage to achieve. Don't make it times 5, because then it takes away from ranked. But anyway, times 3, yeah, that seems good to me. And the prizes are still the same, but it means people don't feel like they've wasted their time, where if they do badly in a tournament, they've effectively got absolutely nothing out of it. It would also mean that free rolls feel a lot better, because think about it from this perspective. The idea is you could play 5 ranked games, or you could play a free roll. It only happens at 1 time, and you've effectively gained, what, 40% more than you would have, depending on how you do? And it kind of drives more people into tournaments, which makes them bigger overall and makes them fire more, because there isn't that sort of pull of, oh, you'll probably get nothing. It also means you can kind of, like, it's also one of those moments where it doesn't lose out on fame. Like, in trials, it makes sense it doesn't give you gold just to play the games, because the idea is that you don't infinite them, but you can play as many trials as you like, but it still gives you fame. Like, it still gives you fame, at least, so it does put you towards the next level. So, something I have seen is that I think everyone's in agreement that the prize pools are a little low right now, and one of the ways of fixing them, at least for the vast majority of tournaments, is just to add at least a fame reward per game, and maybe, I don't know, maybe a reduced gold one. Just a ×2 multiplier or something, just to kind of incentivize people to play in them a little bit more. But anyway, so that's my little rant on how I would improve the tournament system. The only really urgent one, in my opinion, is the qualifiers. I think that the fact that half the people, basically, that participate it's not quite half, but it feels like it sometimes. Get nothing. It's more like a third, but yeah, they get absolutely nothing. And then on top of that, a lot of people get screwed by tie breaks. That's kind of unacceptable. I don't think there should be 5 or 6 people a week that get completely screwed over by tie breaks when it comes to high stakes tournaments. So I think for Masters Quals, it has to be changed. I think that's a really important thing. Whereas for the rest of the tournaments, I think there's sort of time to kind of figure it out and hammer it out. But with the Masters Quals, I think it really needs to be updated because it is a problem. And it's becoming more noticed over time. So I think that definitely needs to be changed. But anyway, thank you all for watching. If you like the content, please subscribe. If you have any feedback or want to ask me questions about the video, put it in the comment section below. If you want to support the channel directly, there is a link to my Patreon in the description. And if you're new to Spellweaver, there is also a code in the description that will give you a Disquisitive Spirit Card Back, along with 75,000 gold to start out. These outros are getting very long. But anyway, thank you all for watching. No, don't extend the intro twice. But anyway, this has been Jotto, and I am going to head off.